We're going to get started with our program and our meeting tonight. If you're new, my name is Courtney Horine. I'm the president of the Knitting Guild. We're going to do a quick icebreaker. This is something we haven't tried before. We're going to try it. So you're going to go back to your original seats, but you're going to move around a little bit right now, okay? So switch seats if you have more than 5 unfinished projects at home or here.
Can we just raise our hand?
No, you gotta move.
The walk of shame.
It's just a walk of shame.
All right, now that when you moved, you gotta introduce yourself to someone new.
Hi. Oh, I didn't know I'm standing. But that's okay, you can come and talk to me. Oh, Eric.
All right, we have another one. We're gonna say, move if you are wearing something you knit yourself. Is anyone wearing their own knitwear?
Oh my God, my brain is not working. And it's with you at Warm Up America, crochet is at Warm Up America. She used to be a nursing instructor. And they hear from me. What do you want to say? What do you want? She's not here today. You want to know why? Never mind.
All right, are we all moved around? And we've introduced ourselves? I got one more, and this one's for Elena. Switch seats if you don't like the color orange.
See you later.
All right, I got one more. Move seats if you're knitting with blue yarn. Knitting with blue yarn. You want to go welcome her? All right, and this last one is easy. It's just move back to your original seat. How about that? Okay, yeah. Can we collect email addresses or send brand names I have joined so they can Okay, so we'll just add them to the next group so we can give that to Aaron. Absolutely. I didn't want to promise. Yeah, absolutely. Where's the mic? The mic is right here. Oh, the mic is on the table over there. Oh,
Right there.
right there. Okay, we'll get started again here. So, thank you for coming tonight. I know we're in a different location. I'm so glad that so many people found us. So I'm really glad, and thank you to Rosemary for helping us out get this location. I really appreciate it. So, if you're new, we are open to anyone interested in knitting at any level. Our mission is to promote interest, appreciation, and skill in knitting. We meet the second Tuesday of the month, and we usually meet at the Wauwatosa Public Library, which is at 7635 West North Avenue in Wauwatosa. We usually have a social hour that starts at 5, which if you got here at 5, congratulations. I did not make it tonight because there's all sorts of traffic. And then our program begins at 6 o'clock, and it usually goes to about 7:30. I wanted you to meet our board members. We're missing a couple, but I am President Courtney Horine. We have Treasurer Crystal Mecker. How do you say your last name? Mecker? We've been on the board for how long, and I don't know how to say your last name. Okay. Vice President Marcia Anderson, she is not here tonight. And then we have Secretary Sabina Fedig, and she's right over there in the pink. And then programs and events, we have Molly Lazier. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then membership, we have Mary Pat McGurk. She is right there. And if you saw her smiling face at the welcome table. Publicity newsletter, we have Erica Hickman, who is right there. She'll be taking pictures and sending out newsletters and all those fun things for us this year. Community warmth is Susie Seidel. Sorry. We've had one meeting together, so that one's excusable. All right, and then our state fair chair, who is very busy right now, is Karen Lemmer, who is coordinating our state fair volunteers. Maybe that's how some of you heard about the Guild. But we are volunteering at the Wonders of Wool, I think that's what it's called, store, just demonstrating knitting this week at the fair.
Not this week.
Or it's this week, yes. Yeah. So starting today, we are going to do our mystery knit along. If you did not get a clue, there should be some floating around here. If not, we can get you an electronic copy. Oh, there's more over there. But raise your hand if you did not get a copy, we can get you one. So this one, we will have a new clue revealed each week. We'll get it in your email beyond this first clue. And you can knit along at home or at this meeting you can start. We're going to cast on tonight. We encourage you to share your photos with Instagram and on Facebook. And you can compare colors, celebrate reveals. We'd love to see how your work is coming together. And all you have to do is, did we create a hashtag or anything for that?
Again?
Yeah, we'll just call it GMCal 2026 will be the hashtag, but we'll send that out with the email.
Okay. And each week,
Go ahead.
There's 2 microphones.
Oh, there are. Oh, okay.
my plan is that I'm gonna upload this to the website in the members only section. And I will, each Tuesday, you'll get the next part. So all you gotta do is go onto the website and it should be hopefully on the, I don't know if it'll be on the main page to link, no, it'll have to be in the members section.
But if they're not members yet, we'll
We'll figure it.
we'll figure it out. We'll have it available.
It'll be in the new, I'll send out an email.
Some of us who have insomnia, what time is the cushion up there?
Oh, I would say not before like 8 a.m.
Not before 8 a.m. Oh yeah, not before 8 a.m. By noon, I'll say by noon on Tuesday, okay? All right.
No, that's a great question. I didn't even think about that. So, but I'm not an early riser, so I'm not sending it out that early. All right.
I'll mail them to you.
So for this, the supplies list, it's a DK weight yarn, 262 yards total, 94 of color 1, 94 yards, 90 yards of color 2, 78 yards of color 3. You can either use a DK weight yarn or fingering weight held double. Both will work for this. The gauge, it's not crucial, but it is 21 stitches and 34 rows. It's a US 5 needle or whatever you need to get gauge. All right, coming up, our fall programs. We have next month, Sweet September is what we're calling it, and we're going to have some desserts. If you didn't get the newsletter, see me if you want to sign up to bring a treat. We're going to have cookies and I think someone signed up for some Kringle, which I'm kind of excited about. All right, you can't have a party in Wisconsin without some Kringle. Or at least southeast Wisconsin, I guess. All right, and then we, Susan is going to teach us how to create crochet edging on fleece blankets. And this is useful for our community warmth projects because we are going to be making baby knits for our next community warmth, or concurrently with some other projects. And I'll have her or Susie explain that a little bit later. And this mic keeps going in and out, so I apologize. I'll hold it up here. I think that works better. Okay, and then in October, we're having round robin mini classes. So come and we're gonna rotate through some skill stations and learn some new skills. I think I'm teaching pinhole cast on. Someone else is teaching provisional cast on. So there's a theme. A Latvian braid, and what was the other one? I don't remember. But it'll be, the fourth one will be a surprise. All right. To everyone. All right, and then in we're in November, we are having a featured speaker, Jackie is Making. I don't know if you are familiar with her YouTube channel, but I've been watching it for, I don't know, the last year or so, and she's a very inspiring maker. She's a quilter, she likes to knit, she likes to spin, so she's multi-talented, and I'm excited to hear what she'll have to say. And that's our fall program. And then December, we'll have our holiday party. All right, so volunteer opportunities. Your guild thrives because of you. We have opportunity to help with membership renewals next month. That'll be September 8th. See Mary Pat if you would like to help with that. She's raising her hand back there. She just needs a couple people to help them sign up online and collect checks for dues if people want to pay that way. And with those things, we are starting a welcome center for each guild meeting to greet new and visiting members at the welcome center table. We are going to start that. And then Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. I've been kind of promoting this in the newsletter. But we are looking for volunteers to help wind yarn at the festival. You get a free wristband if you volunteer for all 3 days. So if you want to come wind one day and come back and shop the next, or combine both in one day, it's a 3-hour shift. And if you want to sign up, there's a Sign Up Genius link, or you can see me and I can help you set that up on your phone. And then also, we are having a retreat March 20th, 2027, which seems like a long way off, but it's really not. And we need help planning that. So if you are interested, see Judy Schubert or Kristen Schubert back there to help with the retreat. She's looking at me like, so, okay. So we were very excited. We're working on finding speakers and getting vendors and everything. You had a question?
Real quick, how many hours, how long is it?
It's going to be a one-day retreat, so probably start around like 8:39 and get done at like 4:35. So it's not an overnight retreat, it's just a one day. March 20th, 2027. All right. I already went over Sheep and Wool Festival. This was from the newsletter. I thought this was interesting that Blackberry Ridge Woolen Mill was sold to new owners. Leslie Schrader, the flax lady who we had speak here last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, I can't remember. But she bought a mill, which I think is really interesting. So maybe we'll have to have her back and have her tell us about that. And then we have a UK designer, Adam Cleveley, is doing research on gauge swatching. So see details, cleveleyknits.com if you're interested in that. And then the Wisconsin State Fair, stop by, see our volunteers. We have volunteers most days at the Wonders of Wool store right outside in the sheep barn. All right, Susie or Susan, who would like to do the community warmth update? I didn't prep her, I'm sorry. It's your last month doing it.
My last hurrah. I promise. Okay, well, Susie will be up here next month.
You have to hold it really close.
With Panache. So, but for my last time up here for now, the community warmth drives that we're doing, we're doing 3 concurrently through the rest of the year, through the fall. The first one is supporting the TMJ4 Community Baby Shower. That event happens in January. And we've reached out to the organizations being supported by the TMJ4 Baby Shower. And I understand some people from one of them are here tonight, Penfield. Thank you for coming. It's amazing. I need to talk to you a little bit more. But so we're going to be making baby blankets, some sweaters, whatever kind of baby stuff that you would like to make and donate. We'll be happy to collect them and get them to TMJ4. Hopefully we get a little bit of good news about the Guild out as well. Obviously, we have some people new tonight, a lot of visitors tonight. So hopefully we get a little bit of a shout out on the news or something to bring more awareness to the Guild too and get more people here. The second thing we've done the last couple of years is supporting the Women's Center of Waukesha with washcloths, dishcloths, dish scrubbers, etc. Anything kind of made with cotton yarn. So that will end in October or November. Probably the November meeting we'll collect the last ones because we give them out over the Thanksgiving holiday to their residents as kind of a kickoff to their holiday season of giving. The last thing we are also collecting anytime people have them completed is for supporting Milwaukee Public Schools, elementaries. The kids need items to be able to go outside for recess during the winter, and oftentimes we have heard from the teachers that there are students that just don't have anything. They come to school with nothing, and so then they have to stay inside, which is like the worst as a kid. So we're making hats, scarves, cowls, mittens, kind of whatever winter items that you think would help get a kid outside for recess. That's it. Any questions about the drives? Yeah.
Does every item need to have one of those little tags that says Milwaukee Knitting Guild?
Yeah. yeah, so the question was, should everything have a tag on it? And yes, I know it's kind of a pain, because sometimes if you make just like one washcloth, it seems like you should maybe need to, but the items are all getting separated and put in gift baskets or other various places, and so they might not be all as a group. And the card just has a spot for your first name. I wouldn't, you could, I guess, but I just don't put my last name on there. And then it just says yarn content and how to wash it. Again, for the kids for MPS, and I have said this before, it's fine if it's made out of 100% wool, because the likelihood of this thing getting washed and dried or whatever is probably low. They're probably even going to keep it at school. And if it does, that's not the end of the world. At least it got some use out of it, so it got dirty enough to need to be washed, I guess. So, but other stuff like for the babies, I think we should put the content on there, because some babies are going to have more sensitive skin, probably would want something washable, but just make sure it's labeled on here in case they have a sensitivity and are trying to avoid. That's it. Usually I'll bring these cards with, but if you want to take a little stack home, because if you're making them, I want to tag as you go, I just attach it with a piece of scrap yarn. So I have actually the entire box with about 5,000 tags in there. So if you are going to be making a lot of stuff and want to tag at home, please take a small stack with you. That's helpful. Any other questions about the drives, or Susie?
She's looking at me like,
She's like,
is this an
no.
expectation? This wasn't part of the job description, right?
That was very helpful.
Okay. All right, this is just some upcoming events around the state. We have the Wisconsin State Fair. We've already mentioned that. We have our guild meeting tonight. We have Wisconsin Sheep and Wool, September 11th through 13th. Who here is taking a class at Sheep and Wool? I am. Anyone else? No? Who's going to Sheep and Wool? All right. That's more encouraging. All right. We have September 25th through 27th, the Minnesota Knitters Guild Yarn Over. I think that's a virtual event too, isn't it? Or is it all in person? I don't know, but Minnesota is not that far away.
I think it's in person.
It's in person?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Madtown Yarn Shop Hop is October 8th through 11th. That sounds like a good time to buy some yarn. And then we have next year our one-day retreat. It's always a good time to buy yarn. That is very true. All right, so guild updates. The stitch of the month is the double chain bind off. That was in the new instructions were in the newsletter. And it matches the Chinese waitress cast on. And then we have current membership is 74 members. I think this was the July Treasurer's Report. So we had spent $33.20 on ribbons for State Fair awards. And Crystal sent me the updated numbers for this month, but I'll put those in next month's slides, and you'll see those in the newsletter. Yes?
Could next month, could people entered in the fair bring their stuff for a show and tell?
Absolutely. I think we'll put that in the newsletter if that's happening. But I was there for the judging this year, and there was amazing stuff, and we have some winners in the room too, so that's exciting. I'm looking at that table back there. There's some contention between mother and daughter back there too. All right, so, and our weather cancellation policy, just in case you haven't seen that in the newsletter, if MPS cancels for the day or their evening activities, for a tornado or something like that, we will not have a guild meeting that month. Okay, and then I put these up here because I didn't know if someone was looking for a knitting group close to their house that meets regularly, but we have lots of them around Milwaukee. That's how I met people when I first moved here 3 years ago. I think I went to just about almost all of these groups, and they are wonderful people, very welcoming, a lot of crocheters, a lot of knitters. Yarn lovers is basically what they are too. So if you are interested in joining a group, or if you're part of one of those groups, welcome. Definitely get involved in the knitting community here. There's lots of places. Yarn shops always have open knit nights too. And that's a good place to meet other knitters and invite them to the guild. Mary Pat, I don't know if you're interested. I can bring the mic to you. Do you want to talk about your sock knitting class? I have to make sure it's really close to your mouth.
I'm going to be teaching a sock knitting class through Mequon Thiensville Park Rec. And that's going to start, I believe it's a Monday night, September 21st. It will be for 5 Mondays from 6 to 8 o'clock in the evening. And it's knitting a first pair of socks, top down on 2 circular needles, but if you're into knitting with magic loop or the double pointed needles, that's just fine. We can make accommodations. And it'll be set up that you could at least do a child's sock, a pair of socks, or if you're more motivated to work on your own, you could end up with an adult pair of socks. So there'll be little homeworks that you can do to get you to the end and get more sock knit during that time. I think the cost in the contact the Mequon Thiensville Park Rec, it shows up as a $50 class for residents. And I was going to ask the guild, if there's guild members who participate, that they could get the resident fee in the end, that we would rebate you back the $10, because we're not in this to make money, but rather to get people to know about the guild and to learn how to knit a pair of socks. And included in that cost is a skein of yarn. And it will be for self-striping socks of some assortment. So there's lots of choices that you can pick from, but that's the yarn that you're going to get.
Where's the Rangeline Community Center?
It's off of Mequon Road, so you have access from Green Bay Avenue, which is at Highway 57 or I-43, and it will be between that Green Bay Avenue or Highway 57 and I-43. It's called Rangeline Road. I don't have the exact address, but
It's in the newsletter. I'll put it all in the newsletter.
Rangeline School. And there'll only be 5 to 8 people in the class, so it's very small and kind of an intimate type setting. And I promise if you come, but you have to know how to knit, which I think we all do know how to knit. I'll help you get your socks finished afterwards. So not to worry about that aspect.
Do you need help teaching?
I have somebody helping the first night, just to kind of get through the nuts and bolts of things. If somebody wanted to come and be there, that would be really nice. I have kind of a course that's set up to do in small steps. And for sure, everybody would get to finish 1 sock if they minimally did the minimum amount of work. But there are those incentivized people that will work ahead and they can never repair in the end. So there'll be specific instructions if people want to carry on their own. But anybody that wants to help, if you want to reach out, maybe we could work something out.
Okay. Thank you. All right, and we had sent out a survey for members earlier this year, and Erica Hickman was very instrumental in putting that together and would like to share some of the results with you, just to kind of understand who we are as a group, where we come from, and what we would like to achieve as a group, as a guild.
Yeah, just kind of what we're gonna do with that information also.
Oh, you just,
Just keep doing this.
yeah, just keep doing that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly going through the slides one by one. The number one question was what's keeping you from attending the monthly meetings? Number one answer was location. So to that being, I broke down. So this intrigued me because I hear this all the time. I hear this all the time that this is an issue. So I broke down Milwaukee, our area into these sections, okay? To the north was north of Silver Spring and east of the Milwaukee River. Northwest was west of the Menominee River and north of Silver Spring. Central was north of Silver Spring, between Menominee River, Milwaukee River, and the KK River. And east of Highway 100, I think is what I did. South was south of the KK River. Southwest follows kind of Highway 43, Hales Corners, Muskego, Big Bend, out that direction. And west was like north of County I, south of Capitol, west of Brookfield, and west. So Brookfield, New Berlin, Waukesha, out that direction. And the results that I got, I broke it up. I counted from I think it was the May the May list of members, and I didn't have addresses, so I just kind of looked names up on the internet. So I was guessing. I know. I didn't go deep, guys. But I was just trying to see and this is what I got. There were only 9 people that I couldn't find locations for. So that 9 was 11%. So it broke down fairly evenly. 30% of the people live in the central area, which is, right around here, Wauwatosa, West Allis, central Milwaukee. 16% of the people live to the north. Only 4% lived up like northwest, which is like northern Waukesha County, Menominee Falls, up that direction. 12% lived toward the south, lived towards the south. Southwest, which is Big Bend, Vernon, out that direction, was like 12%. To the west, Waukesha, Oconomowoc, Delafield, there's 15%, and like I said, 11% was unknown. So we're actually pretty well distributed. So we all have to travel to get here. So I think we're pretty, so it seems pretty central. This is a pretty central area is what I'm getting to. Okay? Would you watch the meeting live online if that were an option? 78.95% said yes. So what that means is that as a board, we decided that we're going to look into broadcasting live on YouTube. And then we thought maybe that would even help during those winter months when it gets harder. I'm sorry, I keep pulling this away. When it gets harder to make it to a meeting, maybe the weather, maybe it's not bad enough to call the meeting off, but it's still not great for driving, or I know there's some people that don't like driving at night and it gets darker earlier, so we could have an online audience also. Or maybe if you're sick and you don't want to come, but you still want to know what's going on. So we're going to look into that. What's the most important benefit that you expect from the guild membership? 48% said learning new skills. 28% said social interaction. 12% access to resources, and 12% networking. So we're still going to focus on this. We're going to keep having our social times. We're going to make sure that we try and promote new skills at our meetings. And then with events, we're going to try and get out and have more social, make sure we're making those knit and chats a priority in our events planning as we go along. Oh, this one, this is one of them that had an open list for you. It's really hard to read. I will read these to you guys. Don't worry about this. It's what topics would you like to see in a future program? And there were 16 total responses in this, and I kind of grouped them together, and the number one was steeking, brioche, cast on and bind offs, double knitting, color work, skills units, crocheting, finishing techniques. There was one that said coded messages in knitting, becoming a Ravelry test knitter, Knit Companion, like using Knit Companion, and then trends in the fiber community. So those are different things. We gave them to Molly and we shared them amongst the board. So those are different topics that she can use when she's looking for people to present to us. So those are kind of the things that we're going to use when we're coming up with new things. This kind of goes along with that. What is your favorite part of the monthly meeting? 78% of the people said speakers. 26% show and tell. It was tied with social time. So that's what we're going to keep doing. And then we asked, would you take part in these events if the guild offered them? The number one answer was a one-day retreat. Look what we're doing in March. We're having a one-day retreat. That was 36%. A guild knit-along was number two, 23%. What did we just start tonight, guys? So the third option we had was a one-day bus trip to Chicago. That was 23%. The lower options were multiple day retreats and an overnight bus trip. And then, gee, a design contest got no offers. But one of the things that the Knitting Guild of America, they have a design contest every year. That's why I threw that one on there. But so, like I said, we use this information to kind of plan what we want to do for the guild. And so that's kind of how we're basing our information. So we're using that. Question 8 and question 9 didn't give us usable answers. And so when we do this next year, we're going to do it slightly different. Members were asked whether they would teach or serve on the guild board. There were some positive responses, but most were not ready at this time. The responses were anonymous, so we really don't know who offered to volunteer. So we weren't thinking ahead to how to capture that information. So that's why we're just kind of throwing those out. And then question 10, are there any other questions, comments, or concerns? There was one that wanted reviews of yarn stores visited during travel, being more welcoming to visitors. Some members find it hard to fit in to that event. We are starting this new initiative that we announced last month, where we're having this welcome center that we're starting up next week. And we're trying to be more welcoming and, get our feet back under us. A lot of thanks for all the hard work that the board members are putting into and getting us back to a good place and repairing, old hurts and old debts. That events needed contact information, and we are looking to make sure that whenever there's an event, there is a contact person who is got, that they are available, that there is always a board person at every event, and that you could always have someone to get a hold of, so that there's never situations that have arisen in the past. And then more variety in the guild meeting was one more thing that was asked for. And I'm not sure what they meant, but we're trying to come up with things. We're gonna do a sweet potluck. I know that we're talking about maybe hosting a picnic in the summer. If you have any other suggestions, we're open to hear them, So, but the survey is something that is in our bylaws that we should be doing every year. It might not be, this year we did it by SurveyMonkey, it might be a different way that we're gonna do it next year. I've learned some things that were done last year, or previous years. I found some QR code links and that I didn't know about this year, so there might be more questions in the future. But just wanted to let you know what we were doing with all of this stuff. So, any questions?
Thank you for all your work on this. It's really nice to get feedback about it.
Do you want me to, do they need it?
I don't think
For this?
they don't need it for this, so should we
Okay.
just have them cast on?
Here, you start all that, that's all
Okay,
you.
okay.
Okay, so that is all for our meeting tonight, but the rest of the time, we are just having kind of a social time where you can start your mystery knit along. If you have any issues with it, we're here to answer questions. If you need yarn, I brought some extra. I know some other people brought some extra too. We can wind that off for you so you can get started tonight. I think there's some needles up here. If anyone wants to use those, I don't know if they're a size 5. Anything else that I'm missing with the knit along?
If anybody wants to see the Chinese waitress cast on, I can do it.
Okay, yeah.
I wanna see it.
So if you want to learn a new skill, you're not ready to start the mystery knit along tonight, Erica will be teaching the Chinese waitress cast on at that table back there. Okay? Mary Pat.
Just a reminder, if anybody is a guest today and they're thinking about joining or they're going to join or have to get on the list for the next 4 weeks, please make sure that your email is here and we're gonna figure out a way to send that. We need to talk to you. Okay.
All right, so if you didn't hear that, if you're new tonight and would like the rest of the clues for the mystery knit along, because they'll be sent out on Tuesdays for the rest of the month, see Mary Pat, she'll get your email, so you'll get you the rest of the clues for that knit along. Okay? All right, so we'll wrap up here, probably closer to like 7:30-ish, and then we'll go from there. Thanks, guys. Oh, show and tell. We will wrap up show and tell. We will get started at 7:15. We'll do show and tell. How about that? Sound good? All right. I always forget about show and tell.